In today's episode of The Messy Sweet Spot, we're diving into a story that's as shocking as it is enlightening, reminding us of the incredible journey women navigate through their lives. Imagine the courage it takes to stand in front of the world, your vulnerabilities laid bare, and transform a deeply personal misdiagnosis into a rallying cry for change. This is the story of Halle Berry, a woman whose resilience shines as brightly as her talent. The 57-year-old shared that she learned she was perimenopause after her doctor mistook her symptoms for herpes. Perimenopause refers to the time where the body starts to make its natural transition to menopause, which marks the end of a woman's reproductive years. Halle says, "First of all, my ego told me that I was going to skip perimenopause. I'm in great shape. I'm healthy. I managed to get myself off of insulin and manage my diabetes since I was 20 years old. So that makes one think, oh, I can handle menopause. I'm going to skip that whole thing. I was so uneducated about it at that time." Berry explained that when she was 54, she met the man of her dreams and started dating Grammy-winning musician Van Hunt. Sharing details about her sex life, the Oscar winner recalled having extreme pain after doing the do. So she immediately visited her doctor. Halle told the doctor, "I feel like I have razor blades in my kitty cat. I run to my gynecologist and I say, oh my God, what's happening? It was terrible," she recalled, teasing that she has no shame sharing her story because it can help other women. He said, "You have the worst case of herpes I've ever seen." I'm like, "Herpes? I don't have herpes." Berry said she immediately confronted Van Hunt about it, accusing Van Hunt of giving her herpes. However, the couple later both tested negative for the herpes. "I realized after the fact that is a symptom of perimenopause," the actress said, noting that dryness is a symptom of the transitional period. "My doctor had no knowledge and didn't prepare me. That's when I knew, oh my gosh, I've got to use my platform. I have to use all of who I am, and I have to start making a change and a difference for other women." Halle Berry ended the conversation asking the audience to help us change the way culture views women at this stage of our life. And this is what more people had to say about this story. "I would sue, because I would have been distraught. The worst case of herpes is wild for a doctor to say to a patient. Sue everybody on the shift that day." No, it is important to know how they keep mistakenly diagnosing women. Always get a second opinion. "A lot of women annoy me. How are so many of you slow enough to say you would have taken this to the grave?" So insecure about what strangers might misinterpret that you don't even care about the bigger issue, which is us constantly being misdiagnosed and mistreated when it comes to healthcare. As Black women, we are misdiagnosed at far higher rates than any other demographic. This doctor and the countless like them need to be sued and licenses revoked. Far too many do not call out this type of medical abuse, and it's unfortunate. Yes, the topic is wild, but bottom line is her life was almost fully altered for zero reason other than incompetence. A series of blood tests and cervical swabs would have found this out long ago, and she would not have been subjected to the mental, emotional trauma of thinking she had a disease she didn't. Thankfully, she got STD tested as a follow-up, but this was an unnecessary mental distress. This is so important. Thank you at Halle Berry. This makes me think of 36-year-old Jessica Petway, who died of cervical cancer after being misdiagnosed with her symptoms ignored. This is what happens to Black and brown women during their doctor visits. They do not listen to our complaints, and they are out here misdiagnosing us. That's wild that a doctor would go with an STD. Just off the bat. Hope she found a new doctor. She's trying to bring awareness, and I'm seeing women in these comments acting like this is embarrassing. Her doctor diagnosed her with an STD without testing her. She was having discomfort down there, and she went to the doctor stating she'd been having a weird discharge. He said she has a STD and sent her to give the blood work. The side effects, she was having headaches, always thirsty, sleepless nights, and itchy down there. The second doctor said, yes, we will test her for an STD, but I want to test her for something else. Come to find out she was diabetic. Nope, she didn't have an STD. She was type 2 diabetic. These were the side effects for being type 2. She left the first doctor and started going to the second doctor. How do you just mistakenly diagnose somebody with that? This actually needs to be addressed more. Because did you really spend all that time and money in school just to mess up a simple diagnosis? And the influencer who recently passed from cancer due to a misdiagnosis. My godmother was told she had pneumonia. She died that year from cancer in her lungs. These aren't simple, oh, I thought you had a cold, but it's the flu type of mishaps. How in the entire hell did the doctor mix these two is beyond me. Melanated ladies, please always get a second opinion. At the recent A day of Unreasonable Conversation Summit, Halle Berry opened up about a bewildering experience that turned out to be a powerful awakening to the realities of perimenopause, a transition in a woman's life that is too often shrouded in mystery and misinformation. She was on a health panel and is advocating for the correct treatment for women and especially women of color. That is why she shared this misdiagnosis, because it could easily happen to you or a loved one. Meanwhile, the real issue goes untreated. Picture this Halle at 57, an embodiment of health and vigor, confronting a diagnosis that seemed to challenge her very identity. She was told she had the worst case of herpes the doctor had ever seen, but in reality, she was facing perimenopause, a natural phase marking the end of reproductive years. Halle's journey into this new chapter of life began with a shock, a misdiagnosis that sparked confusion and fear. But it was her indomitable spirit that transformed this moment into a mission. She realized the significance of her platform, the power of her voice to educate, to inspire, and to advocate for women everywhere facing the stigmas and challenges of menopause and perimenopause. The reaction to Halle Berry's candid revelation about her misdiagnosis has sparked a fiery conversation about the systemic issues within healthcare, particularly the treatment of women and more acutely women of color. It's a narrative that's all too familiar and deeply troubling. The outcry isn't just about the shock of being wrongly diagnosed with a severe condition like herpes, but the broader, more insidious problem of misdiagnosis and mistreatment that plagues our healthcare system. The frustration voiced by many points to a pattern of negligence that seems to disproportionately affect Black and brown women, revealing a disturbing trend where symptoms are dismissed or worse, incorrectly labeled without thorough investigation. This isn't about a single misstep, it's about a systemic failure to listen, understand, and respect the health concerns of women, especially those from marginalized communities. The call for action is clear: always seek a second opinion. This advice isn't just practical, it's a critical step in advocating for one's health in a system that too often fails to provide the necessary care and attention. The stories shared in the wake of Halle's experience highlight a healthcare landscape riddled with hasty, inaccurate diagnoses, from STDs to diabetes, from pneumonia to cancer. These aren't just medical errors, they're life-altering misjudgments that carry profound implications for the individuals involved. The broader conversation Halle Berry has ignited goes beyond her personal ordeal. It's a clarion call for change, for a healthcare system that sees and treats women, particularly women of color, with the dignity, respect, and thoroughness they deserve. It's a demand for a shift in how medical professionals approach their diagnoses, moving away from bias and assumption towards a model of care grounded in listening, empathy, and rigorous examination. This dialogue is also a powerful reminder of the importance of using one's platform to shed light on these critical issues. Halle Berry's decision to share her story isn't just about her, it's a stand against a pervasive problem, offering support and validation to countless others who have faced similar dismissals and misdiagnoses. It's a call to action, urging everyone, especially melanated women, to advocate for their health, to demand better, and to never settle for care that is anything less than comprehensive, compassionate, and correct. As we navigate these conversations, it's essential to recognize the courage it takes to bring these stories to light. It's not about embarrassment or fear of judgment, it's about confronting a system that must be held accountable. It's about ensuring that no one else has to endure the pain, confusion, and fear that comes with being misunderstood and misdiagnosed. And it's a reminder that in the quest for better healthcare, our voices are our most powerful tools. Her candidness about such a private ordeal reflects a broader truth about the strength found in vulnerability. Halle's story is not just about the physical and emotional trials of perimenopause, but about confronting societal expectations, challenging the stereotypes that bind us, and embracing every stage of life with grace and defiance. Halle's conversation with Dr. Jill Biden wasn't just a discussion, it was a declaration. A call to arms for women and men alike to change the narrative around women's health, to recognize the beauty and power in this natural transition. She stood there not just as an Oscar-winning actress, but as a beacon of hope, advocating for a world where the word menopause is no longer whispered, but celebrated as a glorious stage of life. As Halle herself has said, this isn't about succumbing to the doom and gloom of societal expectations. It's about rewriting the script, about challenging everything we've been told about what it means to age, to be a woman, to live fully and richly through every season of our lives. So let's take a leaf out of Halle's book. Let's talk, let's educate, and let's support each other through every twist and turn. Because in the messy sweet spot of life, it's stories like Halle's that remind us of our shared humanity, our resilience, and the boundless capacity for growth and change. Remember, ladies, our stories, much like our lives, are ours to own, to tell, and to transform into beacons of light for the path ahead. Let's not just navigate this journey, let's illuminate it.